Sudan's civil war, less than a month old, is already taking its toll on the civilian population. The National Army and the Rapid Support Forces have ignored ceasefire agreements and fought over key territory for weeks now. Citizens and foreigners, often trapped in their residences, are lacking food, water, and electricity. Tens of thousands have fled the fighting as refugees.
صعبة جدا جدا يعني اتمنى انه الحرب دي تقف والاوضاع ترجع زي ما كانت تاني.
The United Nations is predicting 800,000 will leave the country. 8,000 Somalis remain, along with about 15,000 Americans, and thousands from Europe and Asia. With security forces aiming their weapons at each other, armed gangs are reportedly robbing people and businesses with impunity. Prisons have emptied, putting criminals on the streets. The World Food Program says 6 of its vehicles carrying emergency supplies into Sudan have been looted. The international community needs to act to avoid a full-blown humanitarian disaster. Efforts need to be stepped up to get all foreigners out of the country. This means setting up landing zones for international aircraft to land in key places without Sudanese army interference or RSF artillery fire. It is dangerous for foreigners to go over land, often hundreds of kilometers to Port Sudan or other safe transport zones. It is also potentially deadly for locals to travel great distances, and the WFP trucks being seized shows humanitarian agencies will not be respected. Egyptian or other international troops under the UN flag need to be deployed. This will have to be closely coordinated with the warring sides in the conflict. But neither the Army nor the RSF have an interest in creating enemies from international forces. Their beef is with each other and over very specific territory and issues. United Nations humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths arrived in Sudan on Wednesday. He could be the point person to negotiate a safe corridor for people movement.
Even when there is no formal national ceasefire, we will still require agreements and arrangements to allow for movement of staff and supplies. We will need to have agreement at the highest level and very publicly, and we will need to deliver those commitments into local arrangements that can be depended on.
But the African Union, the Intergovernmental Agency on Development, IGAD, or key players like Egypt or the US could take the lead in saving lives. This conflict will not end anytime soon. But the lives of many innocents will end if they can't get out of harm's way, or at least get food and water. ADN TV will continue to report on political and security developments across Africa.